the sandwich was born from pure survival. After cooking meat, nothing was wasted, not even the fat left in the pan. Working-class families would collect beef or pork drippings and save them in jars. When food was scarce, a spoonful of this solidified fat was spread onto bread. Sometimes salt or pepper was added, but often it was eaten plain. It was greasy, heavy, and filling, giving laborers enough energy to survive long factory shifts. For many grandparents, this sandwich symbolized hard times and discipline, eating not for pleasure, but for strength. The sugar sandwich sounds strange today, but it was common in poor households. Buttered bread sprinkled with white or brown sugar became a cheap dessert or breakfast. When cakes or sweets were impossible, this sandwich satisfied children's cravings. During the Great Depression and post-war years, sugar was considered a luxury, yet still cheaper than jam. Many grandparents remember the sandwich with nostalgia because it tasted like comfort during difficult childhoods, even when the house had very little food. Raw onions placed between slices of bread were a powerful, inexpensive meal. Onions were cheap, long-lasting, and full of flavor. Some added salt or mustard, but many ate it raw. This sandwich was common among factory workers because it required no cooking and stayed fresh. Though the smell was strong, it provided energy and warmth. For working-class families, onions were not just food, they were medicine, believed to keep illness away during harsh winters. Potatoes were the backbone of poor households. Leftover boiled or mashed potatoes were placed between bread to create a dense, filling sandwich. Sometimes potatoes were fried first if oil was available, but often they were plain. The sandwich kept hunger away for hours and was especially popular among farm workers. Grandparents often recall potato sandwiches as boring but reliable, a meal that never failed when money was tight. Lard sandwiches were extremely common before vegetable oils became affordable. Pork fat was whipped with salt and sometimes garlic, then spread onto bread. It was cheap, calorie-dense, and filling. In cold climates, the sandwich helped workers maintain body heat. Though modern diets reject it, lard was once survival food. Many grandparents remember eating this sandwich daily without complaint. It was simply normal life. When gardens produced tomatoes, working-class families enjoyed this simple sandwich. Fresh tomato slices with salt and sometimes pepper were placed on bread, often with a thin layer of butter. It was refreshing, cheap, and seasonal. Unlike heavier sandwiches, this one symbolized small moments of joy. For many grandparents, the tomato sandwich represented summer, relief from hunger, and the comfort of homegrown food. The fried egg sandwich was a small luxury in working-class homes. Eggs were cheap but limited, so one egg often fed more than one person. A single fried egg was placed between bread slices, sometimes cut in half to share. Salt and black pepper were the only seasonings. This sandwich provided protein and strength, making it popular among laborers who needed energy for long shifts. Many grandparents remembered this sandwich as a good day meal, eaten when the household could afford eggs. Cabbage was one of the cheapest vegetables available and lasted for weeks without refrigeration. Working-class families sliced it raw or lightly cooked it before placing it between bread. Sometimes vinegar was added for flavor. This sandwich was common during winter months when fresh food was scarce. Though bland, cabbage sandwiches filled the stomach and prevented hunger. Grandparents often describe it as tasteless, but necessary, a meal eaten for survival, not enjoyment. This sandwich was simple but effective. A small piece of cheese, often the cheapest variety, was combined with raw onion slices. Cheese was used sparingly, sometimes shaved thin to make it last longer. The onion added flavor and bite, making the sandwich feel richer than it really was. Many grandparents remember this sandwich as a favorite because it felt more complete compared to fat-only sandwiches. Pickles were common in working-class homes because they preserved vegetables for long periods. A pickle sandwich used sliced pickles with butter or leftover fat on bread. The sharp, salty taste made stale bread more enjoyable. The sandwich was often eaten by children as a snack. For grandparents, pickle sandwiches bring memories of homemade jars lining kitchen shelves and meals built from whatever was available. Before peanut butter became a modern staple, was considered cheap protein. Working-class families used it without jam or honey. Just thick peanut butter spread between bread provided energy and fullness. It was especially popular among schoolchildren and factory workers. Many grandparents recall peanut butter sandwiches sticking to the roof of their mouth, but keeping hunger away for hours. Nothing was wasted in working-class households, not even gravy. Cold gravy from the previous night was poured or spread onto bread. Sometimes the bread was toasted to prevent sogginess. The sandwich tasted rich even without meat. For many grandparents, gravy sandwiches were proof of resourcefulness, turning leftovers into another meal rather than letting anything go to waste. This was not a sandwich in the modern sense, but it was eaten the same way. Working-class families, especially in rural areas, would crumble cornbread into cold milk and eat it by hand or spoon. Sometimes the cornbread was placed between pieces of bread to stretch portions. This meal was extremely cheap and filling. Grandparents remember it as a childhood staple, bland, cold, and simple. But it stopped hunger when nothing else was available. Salt pork was preserved meat used by poor families because it lasted for months. A thin slice of salt pork was placed between bread, sometimes eaten raw, sometimes lightly fried if fuel was available. It was very salty and tough, but rich in calories. For factory workers and farmers, this sandwich provided strength during exhausting labor. Many grandparents recall chewing it slowly, knowing it had to last until the next meal. Bologna became a working-class favorite because it was cheap and widely available. In poor households, it was eaten plain, no cheese, no sauce. One thin slice was placed between bread to feed one person. Children often carried these sandwiches to school wrapped in paper. Grandparents remember bologna sandwiches as everyday food, not special, but dependable when money was short. Fish sandwiches were made from leftover fried fish or canned sardines. Batter was often skipped to save flour. The fish was mashed or placed whole between bread. This sandwich was common in coastal or river communities where fish was cheaper than meat. For working-class families, fish sandwiches were an important protein source. Grandparents often recall the strong smell, but appreciated the nourishment it provided. Fruit was rare for poor families, but apples were affordable and long-lasting. Thin apple slices were placed between bread, sometimes with a small amount of sugar or butter. The sandwich was often given to children as a treat. For grandparents, apple sandwiches bring memories of harvest season and moments when life felt slightly sweeter despite poverty. Molasses was a cheap alternative to sugar and honey. Thick, dark molasses was poured onto bread, sometimes mixed with butter to reduce bitterness. This sandwich was common in working-class homes because molasses was filling and high in energy. Many grandparents remember its strong taste and sticky texture. Though disliked by some, it kept families alive during hard times. When bread was unavailable or rationed, crackers replaced it. 2 crackers with a thin spread of lard, butter, or cheap cheese became a sandwich. Working-class families relied on crackers because they were cheap and lasted long without spoiling. This sandwich was often eaten by children after school or by workers during short breaks. Grandparents remember cracker sandwiches as dry but satisfying, especially when nothing else was in the pantry. Beans were one of the most affordable and filling foods available to poor families. Leftover beans were mashed and spread onto bread, sometimes seasoned with salt or onion. This sandwich provided protein and energy, making it a staple for laborers. Grandparents often recall bean sandwiches as heavy and messy, but dependable food that kept hunger away for hours. The mustard sandwich was born from extreme scarcity. When no meat, fat, or vegetables were available, mustard was spread onto bread for flavor. Though thin and unsatisfying, it was better than eating dry bread alone. Many grandparents remember eating mustard sandwiches during the hardest times, especially during economic depression. It represents survival at its most basic level. Scrap meat sandwiches were made from small leftover pieces of meat to little for a full meal, but enough for a sandwich. Fat, bones, and trimmings were chopped and placed between bread. Every piece was valued. Grandparents recall these sandwiches as unpredictable, sometimes good, sometimes tough, but always appreciated because meat was rare. When families could afford extra fuel, bologna was fried to add flavor. The heat made it crispy and smoky, turning a cheap slice into something special. Fried bologna sandwiches were considered a treat in working-class homes. Grandparents often remember the smell filling the kitchen and signaling a rare, comforting meal during difficult times. Meatloaf was stretched to feed entire families, and leftovers were never wasted. Cold slices were placed between bread the next day. The sandwich was dense and filling, making it perfect for workers to take to factories or fields. Grandparents remember cold meatloaf sandwiches as practical and satisfying proof of careful household management. The butter sandwich was one of the simplest meals in working-class homes. When nothing else was available, bread and butter were enough to survive. Butter was spread thinly, sometimes scraped so lightly that the bread could still be seen. This sandwich was often eaten for breakfast or late at night. Grandparents remember butter sandwiches as quiet meals, plain, modest, and honest, reflecting a time when excess did not exist. Jam sandwiches were made using homemade preserves from seasonal fruits. Store-bought jam was expensive, so families relied on what they canned themselves. The jam was used sparingly, often spread thin to make it last weeks. Children especially loved this sandwich because it felt like a treat. For grandparents, jam sandwiches represent small happiness during hard times and the value of homegrown food. Canned sardines were cheap, nutritious, and long-lasting. Working-class families mashed sardines or placed them whole between bread. Sometimes onion or vinegar was added. The smell was strong, but the protein was important. Sardine sandwiches were common lunch food for laborers. Grandparents often recall them as unpleasant in taste, but necessary for strength and survival. Corned beef was preserved meat that could be stretched over many meals. In poor households, very thin slices were used in sandwiches. Often there was more bread than meat. Despite this, corned beef sandwiches felt valuable because meat was rare. Grandparents remember these sandwiches as heavy and salty, eaten slowly to make them last longer. The toast sandwich was bread inside bread, one slice toasted, placed between two soft slices. Butter or salt was sometimes added. The sandwich became popular during times of extreme poverty. It provided texture and the feeling of a real meal, even though ingredients were minimal. Grandparents recall it as strange but comforting during the hardest days. This sandwich was made from anything left in the kitchen: vegetables, meat bits, gravy, or fat. Nothing was wasted. Each sandwich was different, depending on what was available. For working-class families, the sandwich represented survival skills and creativity. Grandparents remember these meals not by taste, but by the lesson they taught: waste nothing and be grateful.